figurin dengan kaden jalan setiap ini kehidupan kalau bayi mahu. Sekarang satu ini dunia orang lain pun kalau kalian yang ada, awal orang kami kalau bayi orang terbawa mungkin ini satu ini awal bayi ini orang ini sekali nama itu hilang orang. Amin. Orang yang ini itu kerja. Amin.
Raphael, Dr. Minister, traditional leaders, members of the diplomatic corps, board of regents, our students, faculty, staff, ladies and gentlemen. I also, I guess to reiterate what Tom said, welcome to the 22nd Foundation Day of CMI. I just wanted us to, take a minute to think a moment about honoring our past and thinking about our past and what that means, a little bit anyway. I was just chatting with the minister before we got started, looking at some old, documents that we have, 1990. Before it was CMI, it was still the College of Micronesia. 250 students. And then you take a look at what we have now, 1,100 students, plus 300 GED students. And blend the changes that have taken place in terms of the facilities, the technology, the capacity of the people that we have here, with the staff, faculty, and administration, just how far things have come since then, which I think is a credit to everybody that has ever worked here. And also to think about in the 90s, when I think it was Marie and a few other people that got the endowment started. Because when I first came out, Alfred was the president, and I think our endowment was about $60,000. And then we had Sister Georgia, who donated 18 months of her salary and put that into the endowment. I still think that's the largest single contribution of any individual we've ever had. And that was back in 99 and 2000. And we need to remember the efforts of those types of people. And then also over the years, there have been many others who have made great contributions, not just the people that are currently working here, but people that were working here that aren't with us anymore. People like Tony Kraut, Swain, Rick Sammer, Henson McGurl, Tom Majabon, Beverly Zutaro. It's not an exhaustive list, but there's plenty of people that aren't with us anymore that helped make this place what it is. And I want to also thank the board, members, old and new, over the years, who I've worked with. I think the first time around that I worked here, that especially these last 4 years. Those have been 4 years that were, we had to deal with a lot of issues. And I'm hoping that dealt with them sufficiently that it's something the new administration under Dr. Teresa just won't have to deal with. Not like we do. So I hope we've built this foundation that will provide enough support necessary to push us where we need to go in the future with the programs, how we develop students, how we develop our own staff, how we develop more local faculty. So we have the future that we all want for the CMI and the Army. So with that, I want to welcome you all to this event, also the events of the next week. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's been a big help. Thank you very much.
Ingenuity natin Carl kung makakagawa na kung ano yung college natin. Kukulo mo lang, road yung natin, movie level ng Carl after din tinawaan ng kawa pa yung natatamaan ng college natin. Border regions, Obama, Alabama, ito ba na pili yung Chibanguan Carl and colleges. Just let me paraphrase in what I said in March Lee. Words are not enough of what Carl Hacker has done for our college. Like what Carl was saying 4 years ago was a very trying time for the College of Marshall Islands. I've been your chair for just less than a year, and I can attest that the leadership in the last 4 years has been, and the courage and the determination of Carl's presidentship of the College of Martial Arts, we would have had some serious issues. But also, we Carl and Carl from Moldova. All affecting President Erdogan and Dr. Teresa. Dengan Moda Kamole and Region Marine Medicine Chairman and Presidential Search Committee. Owa itu lawan committee itu lawan opsi omai akali na kata jurusan gocet jadi lawan committee itu dari dengan Owa pun lewat dia nawai dan itu kalau mana lewat dia bagian ujung arah President Gap. Ini kan Kamole region Marine Medicine Kawapi. Kemudian jadi women out in Dr. Teresa, made job. One didn't go up to Tarawali, and job had it along at Chidu Army. Army didn't carry the man martyrs, job colonially there. They have a while, immediately while in Tarawali, it's all kind of the wound. So they have a government college. But that may get mentioned Dr. Teresa, but we not defense Egypt and I don't know to make it all the and already more than four like federal college in Alabama. Today, Army and one college. And the border region, you find 9 unanimous, really in Ottoman, any operator care. Mr. Dr. Teresa, I just want to recognize our Presidential Search Committee led by our Region Marine Medicine and our staff and our faculty that were involved, but also we've asked people outside from the college and our community to participate in the search. And I'd like to thank them for their contribution because they spent their time, they didn't get paid for it, spent many hours, many days, many months. And we had a lot of candidates and we narrowed it down to 3. The 3 candidates came to Nashville, we were able to meet with them. All of them had, impeccable credentials, lots of experience. But when we met with Dr. Teresa, it was just that spirit that we felt that she was the right person for our college. I can't explain it, and all of us in the border regions had very similar feelings about Dr. Teresa, and we are very, very honored and proud that she's going to be our next president of the College of the Marshall Islands. Maybe I'll stop here, just in case that weather comes towards us. So I think we have a
Inai kembali menelo kagina and kajo kembali lo kagina kagina. And I will tell him, Chile Cuban, Rona, Chile of Cuban. And today, we are going to live in the Cuba only to be wild like water, to be water travel you. Can I hide in long ago? Cuba. And can get I never go back on any Chile, not Chile. Can get and I may your Chile no family one day. You will be fit, you will be in the Luna Ring. Then just fell off. I didn't know. You are one of the Ikaw mantin ay naging kanya ay naging wawan ay mo kanya. Malalay na pinipiro. Elu guna karman dawangan president yan. Nalagay na per college. No college ni June wala. Ewan kaya yang riawa roye yang ada berani ni juga ni. Yang paling jauh ni ribu orang. Jadi ini pilih wine college ni. Ingat ni, jukun kamu ni naru chairman, juga Benjamin juga ada yang ada kaya ni kerai, awalnya berani ngaji itu. Kenapa? Goyang, luang jerung lain kena. Kumangan kali kumangan pun terbalik, dan kumangan pilih kali. Pilih kali ni ada, ini kepalanjuan. Kumawi kali ini pergi terbalik orang lokal. Lagi, ini mahu kain. Malah dengan kalau jangan jadi ayat kalawin pasti real enggak terjadi. Ini jadi. Macam ni jadi. Akhirnya kalawin kembali terbalik lagi. Karena kami kumawan pun kain ni. President tidak ada. Just a few words on what the meaning of the two words, Marshallese words, authentic Marshallese words. Jinet, Tibet, two words represented in this panel. And Jinet means our mother. Tibet means the paddle. The paddle, the canoe paddle, the huge ocean-going vessels, the canoes of our olden time. Unfortunately, they are not here around here anymore. But I saw one last one when I was a small boy on Quatilin. It belonged to Euro Labla Chimana. That was the last wala, the large ocean-going canoe. About 50 people can get on it, sail around the ocean. So there's a man who's handling this paddle. It's called Gibbet. And he has to be strong. He has to know what he's doing. In order to sail the canoe through rough weather, in order to get to the destination safely. And so, it's very symbolic of the president of this college. Because the college is like this wala, the big ocean-going canoe. It's like that canoe. And we need someone to steer it in the right direction. And it's using this paddle to steer the canoe. And the passengers on that canoe are the students. And the sailors are the faculty and the people. So she has to be strong in order to lead this college. And we hope and we pray and we trust that she will have those qualities, because the board has selected her based on all these good qualities. And symbolic of this, Dr. Teresa, you will be handling the canoe. You will be steering the canoe in the right direction through rough weather, calm weather too. But be strong, because you will face turbulent weather and be born. We will support you, everyone in this college, in the community, in the Marshall Islands, because this is our college. This is Marshallese College. And so I'm urging the students to study hard in order to take over the jobs of president, of faculty. We need more Marshallese. It's not that we don't like those who help us, but we want to control this college. This is our college, Marshallese College. So be strong, you students. You are the passengers. Have trust in your president, and you will succeed. And try hard. God bless you all. This is what I like to say about this college at this moment. I would also like to add that when I was working here, President Carl Ever came in 1999. That's a long time ago. But we first met in 1999 and we've known each other way back. So I want to also congratulate you, Carl, and thank you very much for all the good work you've done for the college. Thank you so much.
I'll take us through a short history this evening because I have been part of this college for many years, and maybe I'm coming to the end of my term, and I'd like to take a moment to share a little bit of history. So please bear with me while I share this short history. Today is both Foundation Day, where we reflect on the college and the contribution to this community. But it's also a time to celebrate, thank our outgoing president, and welcoming our new president. My connection to CNI and its program that precedes CNI goes back to the early 1980s. More than 22 years ago. I started out here as a coordinator of the Community College of Micronesia Teacher Education Extension Program. That was the only post-secondary education programs offered in the Marshall Islands at the time. Also, in these facilities, we share the facilities with the School of Nursing, which have just moved from Saipan, and the COM Land Grant Program, another new program to College of Micronesia then. So in addition to sharing these facilities, the three programs also share mutual frustrations and experience bureaucratic red tapes, and slow communication from our main office, then located in Ponte. Cash to replenish our impress accounts were often late, and every step or decision that we make have to be approved by the office in Ponte. So frustrations turned into a resolve to bring the three programs together under one administration and to seek independent and separate WAS accreditation from Community College of Micronesia. So on October 10, 1989, the College of Marshall Islands came into existence when the Board of Regents of College of Micronesia issued its charter, officially designating it as College of Micronesia Majuro Campus. Alfred Capelle was the chair of the COM Board of Regents at the time. So I consider myself fortunate to be at the right place at the right time during the formative stages of the college. As the administrator of the COM Majuro Campus, I assembled a team to write our initial application for WAS accreditation. We have excellent staff who offer support and guided us through the WAS maze. The government led by late President Amtakadua gave its full support for the idea of a separate post-secondary institution to service our national educational goals. Among important issues discussed during these formative years was what to call this new institution. I recall debates among staff whether the name of the new institution should be Marshall Island College, MIC, or College of the Marshall Islands, or Community College of the Marshall Islands. I guess many of us knew that the name MIC would be taken by some enterprising local personality in the future, so it was not selected. We also voted against CCNI, because it was too similar to CCN at the time, and two, we envisioned back then that the college would become a four-year institution in the not-too-distant future. And we did not want to have to go through another name change. So CNI won out. I know College of the Marshall Islands has not become a four-year institution as envisioned, but by all measures, I know it will get there very, very soon, and in my lifetime too. As we all know, in 1991, CMI was accredited for the first time by WAS, and in April 1993, it became an independent entity with its own Board of Regents. created by an act of Navijala, a charter to serve three post-secondary mission needs of this country. CNI has undergone tremendous growth and improvement in the past 22 years. And Carl mentioned all those people along the way that have contributed to that growth. There has been improvement in facilities and infrastructures. We see a very nice campus. Growth in student enrollment and program offerings. In addition to growth in improved standards and academic programs, in nursing, teacher education, and liberal arts, the government is also pleased to see increased number of graduates over the years, many of whom are found in government offices and in the private sector. Further, the government is pleased to see the college embracing our nation's history and heritage and taking steps to address wider human resource, environmental, social, and economic issues facing the nation today. The incorporation of the CLLC and attempts to refocus the martialist language arts and cultural studies are positive and beginning steps designed to promote and protect our cultural heritage and strengthen our unique language. More work in this area will be needed in the coming years to specifically incorporate navigational, traditional medicine, traditional knowledge of the weather, among other heritage skills that need to be researched, nurtured, and transmitted to the younger generations. The recently established vocational and maritime programs at the Ara campus are positioned to address identified shortages in technical and vocational skills among the workforce. The Nuclear Institute, a unique feature of CNI, is housed here to provide continuing awareness and to ensure that we as a nation never forget the nuclear legacy that many of our people continue to suffer and live with today. Finally, the partnership with the Marshall Islands Conservation Society and the development of a proposed climate change institute would most certainly increase the knowledge base and research information our government will require in the future to confront the onslaught of many environmental challenges that our nation is facing now. The college has experienced difficult times as well. Carl mentioned some of those before. Many of us here remember very well when CMI was put on show cause and almost lost its accreditation. More recently, staff have to face salary cutting necessary to adjust and to keep comparable salary ranges with other sectors of the community. The college faces ongoing struggle with inadequate funding. Inadequate funding to operate, to improve, and to grow the college will likely remain a challenge into the future. But despite these challenges, we are here today celebrating yet another foundation day. Over 22 years, many people worked extremely hard to keep this institution growing into what it has become today, a very important pillar for our nation, one in which all of us should be proud. Through its academic program, CNI has also prepared many young people, we all know, who have and are ready to take their places in the world, here and abroad. One by one, each CNI graduate is a building block that will contribute to a stronger Marshall Islands. The fact that the college truly plays a pivotal role in the life of this nation must not be forgotten. We are a long way from where we need to be though. It is true that we are at a juncture in the history of the college where members of the older generation, like myself, who work to build this college, need to hand it off to the next generation of younger and more vibrant Marshalese with lots of energy, who are technology savvy and well connected. They are the future, and they are needed to shape the future of this institution and of this nation. But where are they? Alfred was asking earlier, where are you? The number of college graduates we have returned to the Marshall Islands has increased in recent years, but sadly, the numbers we have chosen CNI as their place of employment has been very low. For CNI to become sustainable, it needs, among other things, a cadre of well-trained young faculty members, professionals who are ready to roll up their sleeves, work with students, and educate the new generation of Marshallese leaders. We continue to be hopeful that these numbers will improve in the years ahead, and that a new breed of service-oriented young Marshallese college graduates will come forth to claim their rightful place here at CNI. In closing, I would like to thank the many people and groups of people who are deserving of words of appreciation, faculty and staff who endured challenges over the past years. We are all winners today because of your hard work. Salamat and tumulong. On behalf of the government, I would also like to congratulate Chairman Chuntaro and members of the Board of Regents for their diligent stewardship of our college. Under their able leadership, we are witnessing today a smooth leadership transition. Let's give them a hand. I would also like to recognize and congratulate Carl Hacker, the outgoing president, for his outstanding leadership. We cannot underestimate the challenges he and the college faced in the last 3 years. Regardless of these daunting challenges, Carl has managed to steer the course and stay true to the college mission. So, kumotala, Carl, for your leadership. After conducting one of the extensive presidential search in the history of CNI, we are very pleased to welcome Dr. Teresa, our new CNI president, today. In the end, we did not have to look too far. She came from a neighboring Pacific Island country, Fiji. Dr. Teresa's mix of experience and unique talents give us hope and promise of a new and exciting period in CNI's history. We look forward to you taking the helm of the college, Teresa, through an exciting phase of development. Welcome to CNI. I'm sorry to take you through a long speech, but I think it was important for the younger generation to learn of the journey that this college has taken through over the last 22 years. Before I sit down, the government is very pleased to present a check to the college, endowment fund, a check in the amount of $150,000.
Traditional leaders of the Republic of the Marshall Islands, Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Heine, Honorable Government Ministers, Ambassadors and members of the Diplomatic Corps, Chairman, Mr. Ben Chitaro, and members of the CMI Board of Regents, the Chair of the Customary Law and Language Commissions, Dr. Kapele, distinguished guests, families and friends of CMI, fellow students and colleagues. Firstly, I express my deep and sincere gratitude to our outgoing President, Mr. Carl Hacker, for his strong and decisive leadership through the last 3 years. Carl, I know from what you and many others have shared with me that the road was sometimes long and hazardous, characterized by many multifaceted challenges. But under your leadership, I know that there have also been many successful outcomes. Prominent among these, as earlier speakers have shared with you, CMI's financial recovery from a less than desirable to a position of strength and integrity. We will continue to build on the reinforced foundation that you have set up, Carl, and we know that you will always remain a true and committed colleague and friend of CMI. It is my honor and my privilege, and I am deeply humbled to receive this cherished and time-honored token of your hope and trust in me as your new president at the College of the Marshall Islands. As the steerer of the CMI canoe, or the person at the back of the canoe overseeing all of the activities required to keep the canoe afloat and on course, and actively steering the canoe in our chosen directions, I am part of a team of sailors, navigators, and specialized seafarers made up of faculty and non-faculty or professionals who will be navigating the path ahead and negotiating the challenges for our students, the Republic of the Marshall Islands, and the other communities that will serve. As our forefathers did, we will create stick maps together that identify the pitfalls of non-accountable and non-transparent decisions and practices. We will be guided by our regular or stick maps in avoiding reefs, negotiating safe passages through storms and inclement weather, and adjusting the sail to find the best forward winds. We will focus on continuing to build even stronger foundations on which value-added and sustainable opportunities and practices for the development and delivery of higher and vocational education can flourish. We at CMI, along with our Board of Regents, look forward to robust and informed interactions and collaborative and context-relevant partnerships with the Minister and Ministry of Education, the government, the people and communities of RMI, other higher education providers at RMI in the region and further abroad, and our international donors and stakeholders to provide innovative ways that will enhance and hopefully in some cases transform the quality of our students and graduates. We will also explore and use education-friendly global positioning systems, or GPS, to locate ourselves in the context of the educational landscape in Micronesia and beyond, to share our successes and learn from other initiatives, and during this process, strengthen existing relationships and develop and nurture new ones. The Marshallese Institute of Language Arts and Culture, 4-year degree programs, an expanded vocational and community development curriculum, blended learning, and specifically designed professional development and capacity building to meet RMI needs are some of the areas being explored in our development of the CMI regular called the Strategic Plan. The first CMI Strategic Plan is currently in the development and will embody our essential promise to students and to you, the RMI community, that your faith in us as the college of the Marshall Islands is well placed, highly valued, and motivating. To this end, my duty as the steerer has already begun. Last Friday and Saturday, this weekend just gone, the CMI retreat held at the Arak campus brought together the Board of Regents, faculty representatives, senior administrators, and the head of the student body to engage directly with prevailing issues and articulate the way forward with reference to specific areas, including the strategic plan and roster accreditation. I am, as we all are at CMI, singularly committed to the process of accreditation as the measure of consistently high quality and externally recognized education, student support services, accountable and transparent governance structures and systems, and sustainable practices. CMI, like the legendary navigators of the Marshall Islands, will continue to adapt and use, at least metaphorically speaking, all 3 types of canoes and more in our journey forward, particularly in the next 5 years. The Garaga, in the journey to enhance our knowledge of local educational contexts, to inform and transform our developmental, credit, and vocational programs, and respond even more directly to stakeholders' requirements for work-ready plus graduates. The Tipano in our journey to expand our reach in higher and vocational education to the outermost atolls by harnessing the potential distance and intermediate-enabled learning and teaching opportunities. And the Wala in our journey to identify and capitalize on the multitude of opportunities, for example, like leveraging the capacity afforded by the fiber optic cable connection to share our initiatives and innovations in learning and teaching and reciprocal relationships regionally and globally. The Wala opportunity has over the years brought a diverse and highly skilled and experienced community of educators of CMI and RMI from all corners of the globe, from our neighboring Micronesian family states, the United States, South America, Africa, Asia, Europe, Great Britain, and our sister nations in the South Pacific. This evening, we celebrate together and reaffirm our commitment to driving meaningful education that is both relevant and forward-looking, and affordable and sustainable to the communities that we serve here at CMI and RMI. And may I take a moment to acknowledge in particular the presence of the Majaro Fijian community here tonight who have come to show their support for fellow Fijians. Motaka, thank you. Finally, I also take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank all CMI academics and staff members and administrative staff who have supported Carl and his executive management team in re-establishing CMI's financial viability, continuing to enhance the quality of the educational programs offered, and most of all, to ensure that CMI graduates are well prepared to be locally, regionally, and internationally competitive. To the Chairman and members of the Board of Regents, your leadership in providing direction and advice, and your unfailing support of the College is much appreciated, and I look forward to a productive, inspiring, and inspirational relationship. To the government and people of RMI, parents, guardians, families, and friends, CMI is ever grateful for your steadfast support and commitment to us, and we look forward to the continuance of partnerships that will grow from strength to strength, and the pursuit of new journeys to be an even more recognizable exemplar in higher education at national, regional, and international levels. To CMI students and alumni, I acknowledge and applaud your choice to study at CMI, and the belief that we will and have equipped you in the best ways possible for your chosen careers and lifelong learning. Lastly, and very importantly, I acknowledge and thank our RMI stakeholder communities in commerce and industry and our international partners for your continued and much valued assistance and support. We will continue to draw inspiration from your confidence in us, so that at Ilewalain, at CMI, where Rinjan Badat Pikrik in Utej Boro, Nankoji Ilakan Island Kane, in what case Wajamo Momanu Nankatak Korek Te Rodejolo Katak Telek Terbo Ekwek Kilain Inad Ajere Italakan Island King Inad Erak Blok Island Project Kilometer Wind Immediate Ajer Ter Italakan Lalin Wayo Makat Elayo
Marshall Islands for. We are very happy to be here to donate $10,000 to the